welcome to Mana TV. Thanks to all the viewers for joining today. I want to apologize for the technical delay we had this morning. So Arvind Garu is also on. So today the topic would be on the LRS. I know most of you were trying to understand what is this LRS, how do I do my land's regularization in India being here. So this is a good opportunity for us to know more from our IAS officer Arvind Garu. So namaste Arvind Garu.
Yeah, good morning to all of you. Yeah.
So I would like to introduce Arvind Garu. So Sri Arvind Kumar Garu is presently working as a Principal Secretary, Municipal Administration and Urban Development and Commissioner, Information and Public Relations Department of the Government of Telangana. Arvind Kumar Garu is a graduate in Economics and postgraduate from the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He completed a Master's in Public Policy from Woodrow Wilson School, Princeton University, USA, as a Robert Namara Scholar, and a course on Leadership and Globalization from LSE London, UK, as a Chevening Scholar. He has been in the Indian Administrative Services since 1991. From 2009 to 14, Arvind Kumar worked with the Government of India as a Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, where he managed insurance and pension reforms, institutional finance, including housing, MSME, microfinance, agriculture, and rural credit. Sri Kumar has been a government nominee directors on the board of National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, ICICI Bank Limited, and New India Assurance Company Limited, Small Industry Development, Bank of India, IFCI Limited, and National Housing Bank, and IRDA, among other during this period. He has moved back to State Government of Telangana in 2015 as a Principal Secretary in Industries and Commerce and Energy Department. The new industrial policy was launched by the state in 2015. So I would like to again introduce Mr. Arvind Kumar Garu is our guest today. So thank you so much, sir, for your time. I know you are so busy, and accepting this 30 minutes is a great opportunity for all of us. So our focus is mainly on the NRIs, sir. So recently the LRS scheme has been introduced and the new GO has been released. So we just wanted to know more or throw some light on the LRS, Arvind Kumar
Garu. Morning all of you, and it's a great occasion and platform for you, Praveen, to have organized this thing, because we have been getting some queries on and off on Twitter and on individual one-on-one basis, seeking certain clarifications, based on which we have updated our system also. But before I get into the specifics, let me kind of first mention about what is this LRS and how is it kind of different from the previous ones or the other ones. So first, just to kind of get things going and started, I was just checking my dashboard, and as we speak, we have got 493,000 applications in first 18 days, which is like the biggest response ever in the state. Previous times, whenever LRS was taken up, the total number of applications received were around 250,000, which is spread over a period of 3 months and 4 months. So this time in 18 days, getting something like 493,000 applications, it will cross 500 maybe during the course of this session, is something phenomenal, and that has been primarily made responsible because we have introduced a mobile app this time, which was not there earlier. So, and we have kept the process very simple. Those of you who have gone through the website, basically we are asking some basic details about the applicant, and we are asking the applicant to load just the first page of the registered sale deed which he has for the plot which he is owning. That's it. So the idea is once he registers with us, we are doing a back-end exercise of verifying the particulars, and then we'll be taking up the regularization for these plots. So basically, under the scheme, we are saying that all the plots in unapproved layouts up to 26th August shall have to be regularized under this GO if it's not a part of the approved layout. Now, what is approved layout is, we have agencies like HMD, Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority, or Director of Town and Country Planning. In GHMC area also, GHMC does it, very few layouts of course. So if a layout is there, the layout applicant applies for its approval. We define how much should be the open area, how much should be the area earmarked for roads, green spaces, parks, what should be STP, sewage treatment plant, drinking water, street lights, etc., etc., etc. Based on that, draft layout approval is given, and during the period once it completes, we keep certain percentage of plots as mortgage with us, just to ensure that the actual development is based on what is initially approved. So once the developer has developed the entire layout, he has developed the roads, he has developed the green spaces, etc., he comes to apply for release of what is called final layout approval. Once we do that, the mortgage which is kept with us is released back, we issue the final layout approval, and then plots can be sold and people can occupy and start constructing, etc. Unapproved layout, the difference is that the builders or the layout developers of unapproved layouts compromise on the open space which is mandatorily required otherwise for layout approvals. They cut down on the percentage required for roads. They will provide very minimal number of roads and very narrow. Open layout spaces will not be there. Green spaces are not there. Drinking water in most of the cases are not there. Sewage treatment is not there. Street lights may not be there. So that's the difference. So when someone is buying a plot in these unapproved layouts, basically you are compromising on a lot of social infrastructure which otherwise should be there. So in this government order, what we have done for LRS is, we are saying, if you have a plot in unapproved layout, firstly, further registrations of these plots have been stopped henceforth. So if you want to indulge in a resale of your plot, you cannot do it if it's a part of unapproved layout. Tomorrow you want to start building a house there, you will not get a building permission because it's a part of unapproved layout. So we had to resort to this kind of thing because we had earlier given number of times the permissions for LRS 2015, you are aware 2008. A response was not good because people knew that it doesn't make a difference to them. Life is good, they are getting registered, they are reselling it. Basically it was for speculative purposes, and then it didn't make a difference. So this time we applied ourselves and we said that unless we link it with registration, we make it mandatory, it's not going to happen, and that's one of the reasons why we have got such a tremendous response. There are two components in this regularization geo. One is we are saying you have to pay certain amount, which is very minimal. I'll quickly explain. We have categorized the plot sizes into various bandwidth. It's like, first is less than 100 square meters plot size. Basic regularization is 200 rupees per square meter, then 100 to 300, 300 to 500, and above 500. Rates are varying from 200, 400, 600, and 750. Once you calculate, suppose say you own a plot of 400 square yards. So as per this table, 400 into 600 rupees per square yard, per square meter is the regularization charges, which is 400 into 600, it's about 2,40,000 you are supposed to pay. Now you come to the next table. Next table says, if the market value, that is the sub-registrar's value of the area where your plot is there, if it's up to 3,000 rupees, you pay only 25% of this. If it's between 3,000 to 5,000, you pay 50% of this. If it's 5,000 to 10,000, sorry, the table is below 3,000, 3,000 to 5,000, 5,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 50, above 50. So suppose the same example, we said you have a plot of 400, the rate is 600, so it's 240,000 rupees. And suppose it's in an area where the sub-registrar's value is between 5,000 to 10,000 rupees, you need to pay only 40% of this, which is 96,000 rupees. So it's a simple calculation, that is the regularization amount. Then in this, there is another clause which says that if 10% open space is not available in the unapproved layout, 14% of the plot value at the time when you purchase the plot shall be additionally collected. So suppose when you bought the plot, there was some rate. We calculate for 400 square meters, 14% of that amount, and that you have to pay along with this 96,000 rupees. So I'm saying that it's not just about NRIs, OCIs, or US citizens, for example. It's for me also. Suppose I'm staying in Delhi, and if government has given such an opportunity, firstly we have to realize that the sub-registrar's value of the plots is in some cases 1/10 of the prevailing market value. Jubilee Hills, for example, the prevailing market value might be 200,000 rupees per square yard, whereas sub-registrar's value will be just 40,000 or something like that. So there's a huge difference. It's a one-time opportunity, and now it's linked with the fact that there won't be any more registration of the plots which are a part of unapproved layout. So therefore, it makes a lot of sense for us to get it regularized. That is part one of the GO. Second part, which is a cause of concern perhaps, or maybe you would like to know more about it, is that how sitting in US you can get your plots, which is a part of unapproved layouts, registered under this LRS scheme. Couple of things. Firstly, your physical presence is not required in any manner. So if you have a relative, friend, acquaintance in Hyderabad, in Telangana, ask him to apply on your behalf. Quickest, simplest. Application doesn't, we are asking you to upload the first page of your registration document. We are asking who's the plot owner. So it remains in your name. It's just that somebody else is applying and paying that 1,000 rupees here. But once the verification takes place, we would like to have a letter of authorization from you saying that you have authorized XYZ to apply on your behalf and get the plot regularized. That is part one. So which is the simplest, easiest, and it's like as good as anybody else applying who is sitting or residing in Hyderabad. Part two is you want to apply directly. You can apply both ways. You can go to our website, which is lrs.telangana.gov.in. On page one itself, it says, it very clearly says, one is on the first page itself, on the top right, there is a column called NRI. You press that, and then it goes through the entire process. So that is one website. Second is mobile app, which is LRS 2020. Open and you can apply. Now the initial was that there was an OTP which was coming on phone numbers. So I got a message on day one itself. I have a US number. How do I get OTP? So we have done away with the OTP on phone. We are saying email will be the identifying criteria, and OTP will be sent on your email. So that is taken care of. Third question is, it says that is Aadhaar mandatory for OCI or NRI, whatever, because most of someone is OCI, he might not be having Aadhaar.
Yes.
So it's not necessary. Your passport is good enough. Your passport can be Indian passport, your passport can be US passport, it's good enough. We just need a proof of identity so that we kind of tag that who's the person, and then OTP is sent to your email. Is local address mandatory? That is, do you need to necessarily write an address in Hyderabad or something? No. For NRI and OCI, option is given under the applicant details to select district as outside Telangana, and you can give your present address wherever you are. So that's absolutely fine. As per rules, you are permitted to own a residential plot in Telangana, so that's absolutely fine. Then, will there be any letter of communication sent to overseas addresses provided? No, there won't be any letter of communication sent to any overseas address. You will be notified via email on the status of your application. Then, after applying for LRS, how can I check my application status? That's a very frequent question. So the answer is you can track your application status in the website or mobile app by clicking on Know Your Application Status button, and there once you put your application number, which is generated from the system, you'll be able to see where it is pending. What are the documents that are required for applying LRS? It's only, we are saying, the sale deed front page. We are not asking anything else as of now. How to make payment? It's net banking, credit card, debit card, wallet, any other digital mode. 1,000 rupees for individual plot. If any of you is owning the entire layout, it's 10,000 rupees. How do I get the acknowledgement? Once the payment is made, you will be redirected to acknowledgement page. You can print or download, etc. Then how do I contact for any further queries? Website, we have a chatbot. You can send an email at support-lrs @telangana.gov.in, support-lrs@telangana.gov.in. When will my LRS application get processed? Is there any timelines? We are trying to do it at the earliest. In fact, just before, because there was some time lag in getting connected, and my team, my officials are here. First batch of applications we have already started processing. Our idea is, see, in a particular layout, if one plot gets approved, which means the entire layout is approved. So we'll not be doing the same exercise over and over again. So idea is, we will pick up layout wise and we do it we do all the cases in that. So idea is to kind of clear it as quickly as possible. We are deploying special teams, and idea will be that in next 60 days, we should be able to dispose of maximum number of applications. Just because LRS is there, are all are all plots going to get regularized? Answer is no. The layouts which are in water bodies, which are in what is called Shikam land, which are what is called government land, forest land, they shall not be regularized. They will be rejected. Once it is rejected, which means you cannot get them registered again. So LRS does not mean everything under the sun is getting regularized. We are following what is called prohibited category under section 22A of our existing act. And those prohibited category, if the layout is falling or part of layout is falling, only to that extent will not be regularized. So these were the broad things which I thought would be relevant. But if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them on. Praveen.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all the details, sir. I think getting 500,000 within 18 days is a phenomenal job, and I'm very glad that we are going towards like any other Western countries where we can see the land online and be judgeful before we take. So that's awesome. So can you explain us what is the thought behind that it has evolved for this LRS, especially during the COVID time? Arvind Garu.
See, firstly, you would be seeing perhaps the COVID time in Telangana. We have used it very, very productively. In fact, Hyderabad, next time when you visit post-COVID, you will see roads which you had not seen ever. Greenfield roads. They are like they could be anywhere on earth. They are so beautiful. We have done so. We have used the time because there was no traffic. So we got a lot of space, and earlier, suppose working hours was only 3 to 4 hours during COVID time because there was no traffic. We could get about 14 to 16 hours of work every day, and the work which was to be done in 2 years perhaps was compressed in 3 months' time. So that's something we did. The second is the thought behind why LRS at this point of time is, I think all of you should know, Chief Minister of the state, Mr. Chandrasekhar Rao, he is of the opinion that while Patadar passbook in agriculture land or rural areas is a must, now we are working, in fact, he has instructed us, he has directed us, there's a new Revenue Act which has been approved. He is saying, apart from your sales registration document, which are bulky, which are running into 10 pages, 12 pages, whatever, there are cases where people have lost their registration documents or, hereditary properties. People may not have documents at all. So Chief Minister is of the opinion that in urban areas also we should have a property passbook kind of thing whereby it's like a bank account or it's like your passport. So like that I should have a property passbook which shows the details of plots or details of flat or details of house in a gated community so that, and it's a perfect document, because henceforth now that we are saying that in revenue department, the moment someone buys or sells, from the seller's passbook, that portion gets deducted, it gets added onto the buyer's passbook, and there's an auto mutation, so the names get changed immediately. There is auto property tax calculation, so the new property tax comes in the name of buyer. All these are instant. So when we are doing that, so we thought we should clean up our existing plots or records also and try and get everything which is regularizable under the purview of LRS. So that's why LRS, New Revenue Act, property passbooks in urban areas, all these are happening simultaneously, and towards a system whereby each of us, suppose I own 3 plots in Hyderabad, so I should be able to have a property passbook which shows my plot details. If I have 2 flats, it will show the details of flats. Tomorrow I want to sell, it becomes very easy, and that passbook gets updated, etc., etc. So we are working in that system whereby we are cleaning up our records basically. And Chief Minister is also of the opinion, and he has been saying, and I think we have started working towards it, is that the last comprehensive survey of the state was done, God knows when, it was in 1934 was one, Setwars and things like that. So a lot of things have changed. So the idea is, if we can take up the comprehensive survey of the entire land, including agriculture, rural areas, and then urban areas, we are still working how to do it, because plot sizes are minuscule and each plot has been divided so many times. But the idea is, if we can clean up our record, if each of us can own a document which we can very confidently say that there cannot be any malafide or someone cheating on me, because this kind of document, if I have a property passbook and if I'm staying in US, I think I'll have a peace of my mind. So we are working in that direction.
Exactly. What a transformation, sir. Thanks to the CM and our young dynamic Minister IT KT Ramarao Garu and all of your brains behind that IAS officers. So one question I want to ask out of curious. So in your career, you might have seen number of ministers in IT, but KTR being from here and when, so how dynamic will be with you all with him, Arvind?
No, it's not a government job for us working with him. We work on a 24/7, so most of my work gets done on WhatsApp, and so important files. I was just talking to you, we were stuck. So there is some file which is very urgent. I just sent a message to him that, we are doing this kind of thing, and the reply comes, go ahead. So the file is approved, orders are issued instantly, and this is the kind of thing. So my last message to him can be past midnight, and his first reply could be at 3 a.m. in the morning. So we work practically 24/7. It's a teamwork. And I never felt that, he's my whatever. He's a boss and I'm a subordinate or whatever. It's like a teamwork. In COVID time, I think he is one person who went around every day. Even now, the threat of COVID pandemic is not over, and I think he's meeting, more than 200 people every day. So he's leading from front. And we'll be failing in our duty if we don't live up to his expectations, and that's what is the driving force for us. And I think results are to be seen, and we can see it on the field how things are happening.
Sir, definitely we are seeing there, and I could see the new flyover there as well. That was a wonderful one, because most of the IT folks, there will not be any traffic jams, because after working so long hours in the evening, it will be a smooth ride for everyone. And again, thanks from all of us too. And definitely we wanted to go a little bit in the LRS aspects as well. So I would suggest from on behalf of NRIs, is there any way that we can extend a little more time? The reason I wanted to is because many of the calls are when I'm speaking to people or emails, what I'm getting is, if we get a little more time, that will be good, because some of the people might have put there in the log boxes, or they might be putting in somewhere where their parents do not know about these documents. So in those cases, is there any way that we can go to the site, type our name, take the first page printout online, and then submit? Is there any way we can do that?
See, I'm not sure whether if your document is lying in the lockout, I don't know who will take it out from the lockout so that you can take the first page out. So that may not work. But yes, extending the timelines, we are absolutely open. And the kind of response we are getting, it will be foolish for us to kind of stop on a particular day. If people are applying, we should give the opportunity for them to kind of complete the exercise. So 15th October is not sacrosanct. If applications are continuing, if there are requests, we are certainly open to extend the deadline, and I am committing on that.
Thank you so much. And is there any way, like in future, not only this LRS, I know tomorrow we might be transforming in different areas too. So is there a way we can request through you to the government any separate cell for NRIs? So where they can contact and reduce the traffic to you guys, and someone here, we like anyone who volunteers can take up some questions, consolidate, and then, I'm more than happy to take this opportunity myself, if at all you are willing to give that opportunity. So that will ease the job of all the NRIs where they cannot connect to the support, where sometimes the emails may be delayed. That will be helpful, sir. That's the one.
It's a very, very relevant question, very important one. I would say that, and I'm requesting if you or any of the IT nerds and folks who are there volunteer and create a portal where it's not just about LRS. There might be issues pertaining to, as I was saying, your property passbook. There will be huge issues on that in terms of how to apply. You are sitting in US. Do you necessarily go to Consulate General Office, or can you apply from your home? How do we do that? So it's LRS, it's property passbook. You might be having land in agriculture. I mean, your parents and all. So what's happening there? Or, related issues. It's not just about land. It could be setting up industry. It could be remittances. It could be helping in your village or some such thing. Or your parents are here, there is a particular problem in that particular street, so how do we solve? I keep getting such requests on Twitter very often. By the way, my Twitter account is my name, ARVINDKUMIR_IAS. You're welcome to kind of connect me on Twitter. That's the quickest way I realize to solve some of these issues. Coming back, I'm saying if any of you volunteer and create a portal which is Telangana NRIs, Telangana OCIs, whatever, all issues can come. It can be a single point of contact. And at our level, then we segregate who's the department and who's due. So we can appoint a nodal officer or nodal department. And we already have NRI cell in the state government. One Arvinder Singh is my colleague, he heads it. So we can create that. And it can be a good point to kind of have a very dedicated kind of grievance redressal mechanism, including LRS. So LRS, one is you can come to our website or send an email. But if there is a dedicated portal, we know there are 140 queries which need to be kind of addressed. So it becomes a very focused kind of intervention. I'll welcome that if it happens.
Sure, sir. I will definitely. The show main intention is to support NRIs. I don't mind taking more additional responsibility to make all my colleagues' lives smoothen. And personally, myself will also be benefited with whatever the problems I get. So that's the thought behind that. And the show is also really focused on that. And I'm getting good responses from people. And thanks to you all to give such a wonderful opportunity for us. And similarly, in the line of LRS, so people are asking the questions like houses. Suppose, let's say, if my house is constructed in a unapproved LRS, what will happen to that?
I initially said plots or houses, flats. If it's a part of unapproved layout, it has to be regularized. So, see, one is the entire apartment complex should apply. Basically, that will be the first logical question. But I'm saying, look, I have an individual flat. If there are 48 other flats, I'm not responsible for them. Let me apply for that. And that's what I was saying. Say, if we see there is an apartment in unapproved layout, and if one person has applied and he is eligible, we will ask all the remaining 48 also to come and apply and take the approval. So it makes life very easy. Tomorrow you want to resell that flat, it will be very easy. Otherwise, you cannot register again if it's a part of unapproved layout. So it's both plot and flat and constructed area also.
And another silly question maybe, but how do I know whether my plot is approved or unapproved? I felt that when I go for a bank loan, they all review all these things and get a loan. So do I need to go to certain site and see whether my house is unapproved layout or my land is unapproved layout?
See, firstly, bank loan is not a criteria of determining whether the layout is approved or unapproved. Bank loans, they normally see that it's a private land, title is clear, and it's not a government land, etc., etc., and then they give the loans, etc. So that may not be the exact criteria. If I were you and if I have this doubt in my mind, I would apply for LRS. It's just 1,000 rupees. So even if I am a part of approved layout tomorrow, I'll get a reply saying that you're already a part of approved layout, so your plot is already kind of approved. I'm happy. If it's not, the process starts. So I would put it that way. But I'm just trying to get a clarification on this. It says that in every sale deed, layout number will be indicated. If you have the layout number in your sale deed, which means it's a part of the approved layout. If there is no sale deed of layout number in your sale deed, if layout number is not mentioned, you can presume it's an unapproved layout.
Awesome.
So layout number is the catching criteria. Yeah.
Yeah. That I think you cleared our this is the biggest question everyone has. So if I don't have, simply apply 1,000. And is there any hidden charges? Because when you are evaluating, suppose let's say mine is not unapproved, so you will be charging a consultancy fee to draw the structure or do this process.
You may not get back your 1,000 rupees. That's the only hidden charge. Otherwise, there are no other hidden. Otherwise, there are no other hidden charges.
And on the similar question, people are also forming some consultants or something saying that, hey, we will get it approved. So what is your suggestion how to believe? Because we are NRIs sometimes.
I would very strongly urge Praveen and all NRIs not to fall prey for middlemen or broker. We got complaints here also. And you see, I'm saying when the process is so simple, when it's on your smart app, when it's on your mobile, why do you want to fall prey in the hands of somebody? He will again say, he will say regularization fee is 200,000, but you have to pay 500,000 because there are my consultancy fee, then I have to pay some money to officials. I'm saying it's an online process. You don't need to pay anyone except for the charge, which is you can calculate on your system. So I would very strongly urge not to kind of heed or fall prey to consultants who assure you of getting your plots kind of regularized. Simple process, apply online, you have a track number, go on tracking it, and it should be done. That's my advice.
Okay. So in the one other question I got, in a joint family, for example, if the land is divided between 6 people, right? So if the land is divided and everything is legally done, do they need to apply as a group? As you said, like 10 people can apply in one, paying 10,000 rupees, right? So this will fall under that, or is there any case by case you will review?
See, for us, I think property is the yardstick. So if it's the same property, I'm saying the original property holder in whose name the property is there, so long as it's, see, we are regularizing the property. I'm not transferring the ownership from one individual to another. It's the flat or plot which we are regularizing. So long as the name is same as it's appear in the sales registration document, we are fine with it. So if it's just individual plot or individual flat, and if there are 6 owners, I don't think 6 need to apply. It's the original owner in whose name the property is there. If he applies, it's good enough. If it's a plot, you are saying it's divided into 6. If it's already registered, it's not layout, it's an individual plot. There the criteria is, so long as it's in Gramakantam, in villages, so long as it's in Gramakantam or in GHMC area standalone plot, you need not apply for layout. Our only concern we are saying is, wherever unauthorized, unapproved layouts are there and you are a plot holder in that, you need to get it regularized.
So in our conversation, you have mentioned on the sale deed we need to have a LRS number. So
layout number.
Layout number. So is that not a mandatory thing when we do a registration at the registration office?
No.
In the past?
No, registration office, the layout, approved layout, they will mention the layout number. Unapproved layouts, they were still registering. That's why we have stopped on 26th August saying that unless the plot has a sale deed has a layout number, we will not register. Till now it was being registered.
Okay.
Henceforth it will not be registered. That's why we are saying get it regularized so that you get that layout number.
Sir, during this process, I wanted to ask, today, if you see any plot, if I want to buy, people just say this is 10,000, this is 50,000, this is 60,000. Next year, I ask, it will be, hiked very, very aggressively. So unlike in US, suppose if I want to buy, it is very clear. I can see what is the area, how much it is, what is the traffic, what all. So are you planning in future? Will that be the model?
If it's that transparent, would you be so keen to buy the plot? No, jokes apart, I think the idea is once these plots are regularized, see, registration value of the plot should be as close to its market value as possible. I was taking example of Jubilee Hills. I stay here. Now, registration value might be just 45,000 and the prevailing price might be 200,000. And that's the speculative gains people indulge in when there is such a craze to buy plots, So that's the thing I was about to kind of allude at. But your point is well taken. Let's see if we can reach in that direction. The idea would be minimize the gap between registration value and prevailing market price. So which means increasing the registration value. So, effort will be in that direction. And I'm hoping someday I think we should be able to display and it should be showing the realistic value at some point.
So, in this exercise, for example, let's say any of our NRI friends might have taken the plot. If they have some influence, they have registered somehow, hook or crook. What will happen in this LRS process?
Repeat the question, I'm not clear.
For example, let's say I am highly influenced. I have taken a plot and I have registered it. But now when the LRS I'm applying it, there will be a process. They will evaluate whether this land is belonging to anyone or government or anything. What will happen to those plots?
No, irrespective of how influential the person is or whatever. See, we are saying henceforth resale of such plots, if it's not a part of approved layout, will not happen. You demolish the existing building, you want to build a new building, you shall not get permission. Such plots, if it's a part of prohibited list, which includes government land, forest, water bodies, etc., roads, it will not be regularized. So even if you might have got registered earlier, if it's not a clean plot, if it's not a part of the whatever permissible category, it shall not be regularized now.
Awesome. I think the last question most of us have is, so now the LRS process is done. So the government is collecting so much, whatever the taxes are. Right now, the registration is 1,000, and afterwards it might be 200,000, depending on 300,000. So is there any plan for development? What are these funds going to be in future? Do you have any vision of that, or it's too early?
No. So firstly, let me clarify that the intention of government while going for LRS is not revenue generation. I'm making it very clear. The intention was not to raise resources for the government. The clear example of this is when the GO was issued initially on 30th August, there were some rates, but in the ongoing assembly, it was discussed. Some of the members of Legislative Assembly expressed concern that rates are high, and immediately government reduced the rates. So revenue is not the concern, it's the peace of mind for people. You see, a majority of people in Hyderabad also or nearby, what's the plot size they own? 240 square yards, 60 by 40, which is a very decent middle class kind of G+1, ground +1 kind of plot. And a person owning 240 square yards would like to have a peace of mind, that is, he should be able to get a bank loan, he should be able to get the building permission, he should be able to kind of sell a part of his plot tomorrow for whatever reason. So we are trying to help this segment by saying that, okay, you might have been hoodwinked earlier by some jazzy advertisement or somebody saying that these are plots and at such low prices, buy. So you kind of bought the plot without realizing that whether it's a layout or approved layout or not. But now we are giving you an opportunity. Come, get it regularized at, as I read the rates, 25%, 30%, 40% of the normal value of that point of time, which is very reasonable. Get it regularized, have a peace of mind, and go ahead in future. So that's the main intention. And coming to your question of what we'll do with this revenue, in the what we are saying, this entire amount which will be collected will be used for those specific cities. So Hyderabad, if I get X amount, it's going to be used for Hyderabad development. If nearby you see Nizampet, Narsingi, Pirzadiguda, whatever LRS we are getting in that area will primarily be used for the development of that particular city. We might use part of this amount for intercity kind of flyovers, regional ring roads, some important urban-based infra projects it will be used. Very clear on this, that provision is made in the GO itself.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the opportunity, for your time, staying with us late evening, spending your time, your family time with us. It makes a lot of sense for us, and we respect your time. And before we close the call, the final comments you want to make to all the NRIs, that would be awesome.
No, so in Telangana, Chief Minister says that we should not sleep. We work 24/7. So we are still working. My team is here. And tomorrow also is Sunday, and we'll be working tomorrow also. So welcome to Telangana, and this is the new Telangana you are talking about.
Thank you. Thank you so much for you and for your staff and the entire Telangana government. And I will be in touch with you with all these upcoming issues and how we can solve. And I'm glad that if I'm able to help my NRI colleagues or friends, I'm achieved. I'm achieved.